with U of M great and former NFL star Braylon Edwards and Ryan Ermanni. Sit back and let's talk some Detroit sports right now on The Bottom Line.
And here we go. Tuesday, August 23rd, 2022, baby. Ermanni and Edwards, Bottom Line, Woodward, Sports Network.
I thought we weren't going to do that anymore.
Only once, just not all the time.
Okay.
Tom Mazawey.
We voted that down.
We have moved Maz from the chair to the big desk. Hi, Tom.
Hi, guys.
Braylon will be back tomorrow. How you doing, buddy?
I'm great, man. I'm happy to be here. Yesterday was a lot harder than going to work. I can tell you that.
Tell me about this, because I want to examine this before we get into the show here today. So you dropped middle child off to freshman year at college.
I did. My Abby, 18 years old, but she's really my young girl at heart. I mean, when Lily went last year, she was ready to fly out of the nest. Abby was more ready to stay home and chill out with dad and mom and the sisters for a little longer. But she's got her friend with her, and they decided to be roommates. Hopefully that will continue to be good. And we took her up to Grand Valley yesterday and moved her in. We made her her little dorm look as good as possible. And I'll tell you, my littlest one took it the hardest. My Maddie on the way home was like, Dad, both my sisters are gone. It's just me with Mom and you. But she really is. I didn't think, sometimes when you're home, you don't really see the love between the sisters because all they do is argue with each other. I mean, it's hell to have three girls at home. Pretty close
even
in
your
ages.
dog's a girl.
No, my dog, Jeter's a boy.
Oh, Jeter's
it's
a
just
boy.
me and Jeter. By the way, happy birthday to Jeter. He's 8, which is 56.
Look at that.
Nonetheless, you don't really see the love of the girls until when they're going to be separated. Last year, 2 of them cried when they dropped Lily off. This year, the other 2 cried when we dropped Abby off. And then my littlest one is really going to cry Thursday when we drop Lily off back at Michigan State.
Oh, man.
But
that is going to be something.
I guess they do love each other.
Yes, they absolutely love each other. How couldn't they do that when they got Tom Mazawey as a dad, being the patriarch overseeing all of this?
They kept looking at me. Dad, you okay? You okay? Yeah. I'm fine.
You're a disaster. You're a disaster inside right now.
I'm a mess.
I really terribly sick about it.
I'm a mess.
I will say, Maz, we did make one change while you were gone here. So
what was that?
Our friends at the Drew and Mike show, Drew Lane, Mark Fellauer, Brandon, they have been giving us absolute grief about just this downright disrespect.
It's been constant
of Tom Mazawey. I mean, whether it was the hook, whether it's the bottom line, whether it's Big D Energy. When that show started, Big D Energy, you were on that as well. You did 2 shows. Yeah. There has been a downright disrespect of Tom Mazawey here at our network. So, in order to clean this up a little bit, we here at Woodward Sports want to present to you our new header, and we showed the folks this yesterday.
Look at that.
But you are now the leader of every show, getting your just due, Tom Mazawey. Do you feel a part of the team now?
No, I kind of think that's a slap. But here's the kicker. Here's where it all started for me. Once the heavyweights got thrown on there without me, that's when Drew really went to work. And the Drew listeners, of course, I'm telling you, you don't realize the crap I have to take from them. So there's a few of them that have moved over to Woodward Sports. We want more of them to move over to Woodward Sports.
Well, they're not going to move over unless we put
unless my picture's on. Somehow, I don't care if it's this big. I mean, I got a big face, a big head, big everything, but you can make it this big if you like.
Now, coming Monday, we're going to launch new graphics for our show, a little bit of a rebrand.
Oh, that's nice.
I have seen the graphic. I don't know whether you will like it or not like it. That's all I can say. Big tease.
What do you think?
I don't want to give it away.
Okay.
But we did our best. We fought our best to try to get you included finally.
What's the harm, man?
On one of the station shows.
Is there
I don't know. You got to talk to these internet guys in the back.
They just.
I mean, do you see me making any graphics here?
No.
You don't see me doing it.
We barely can get through.
Get Baydoun in here. Can somebody get Baydoun in here? Can we talk about this for a moment? Oh, my goodness.
That's all right, man. I don't give a damn. You know me.
Yes,
I really
you do.
don't care.
Yes, you do.
Well, you always care deep down, but I never show it.
It's so good.
If I cared, then maybe you should have thrown me a crumb way back when then.
You know what?
If you knew I cared.
I'm fighting for you now
Well,
because
it's a
I
little
know
too
you
late.
care.
It's a little too late.
It's never too late to do the right thing.
Okay.
It's never too late to do the right thing,
That's fine.
Tom. I just wanted to make you aware of that. Big show for you guys today coming up momentarily. Just a couple of minutes. We'll talk to a former Lions all-time great. He is Herman Moore, one of the greatest wide receivers, second to Calvin Johnson, I would say. Only second to Calvin Johnson in terms of the greatest
H-man.
wide receivers this team has ever seen, this franchise has ever seen. Herman Moore. We'll talk Lions with him, get you the latest on Jameson Williams, which, by the way, the Lions' first-round pick, number 12 overall, Jameson Williams, did get placed on PUP today, so that means he will miss the first 4 games of the regular season. That was kind of expected.
Yeah, we knew that.
They weren't going to take a roster spot away early on to have him miss a game or 2
Plus,
games.
Tom Kennedy is there.
We had that fight yesterday.
I saw a little of that.
Sam thought I was nuts. I don't know. I just thought it was a complete no-brainer that Tom Kennedy makes this team as the 6th wide receiver
I know.
over Trinity Benson.
Sam likes to stir the pot. He likes to stir the pot.
I mean, was that a controversial take?
No,
No,
not at all.
It was not a
Not at all.
controversial take.
How do you cut the guy? It's his second year. He's still there, buddy. He's still there, Sam.
But it's not a controversial take that Tom Kennedy should be cut. Honestly, we're talking about 6th or 7th wide receivers. It's not that big of a deal. Even if he does make the team, I don't think he's going to get a lot of playing time or targets.
Well, he should.
He shouldn't, though. Like get targets. This is a good wide receiver room. It speaks more to the wide receiver room than Tom Kennedy, to be honest.
Well, the wide receiver room is a really good room. That is, I mean, Tom Kennedy probably does not make this team if Jameson Williams can play.
He still might make it.
I just don't think they're taking 7 wide receivers. Now, is Tom Kennedy going to take a roster spot over Khalif Raymond?
How about Quintez Cephas?
I don't know, man.
Have you heard? Have you seen much of him?
When healthy, Cephas is as good as anybody.
I haven't seen that
when
yet.
healthy, Cephas is as good as anybody.
How do you know that?
Because
you're going back
seen
to college?
Him. No, I've seen him.
A couple of
in
big
games.
plays he makes in practice?
Yes.
Okay.
Where else are you going to see it? And last year, when this team was devoid of talent at the wide receiver position, he was the one guy that stepped up and was an alpha out there. You know, Amon-Ra St. Brown's ascension last year came when Cephas broke his collarbone.
Right.
That's when all that happened, because it was Cephas early on that did all of that stuff. So we'll talk to
I
Herman.
still think there'll be a trade. I really believe that.
A trade for what?
The Lions will trade a receiver or 2. They will.
For what position?
Draft picks.
Yeah, something like that. All right, we can get to that. Big NIL news regarding the University of Michigan as well. We all talk about how this team, how this university is going to get into the mix here with these top-tier universities in college sports and compete with the Texas A&Ms, compete with the Ohio States. Well, they launched something today that we're going to talk to Brandon Brown about. It is the Ann Arbor NIL Club.
Join the club.
What is the Ann Arbor NIL Club? You can join it. It's very simple to join.
Just give money.
It is basically a GoFundMe page for the 110 football players at the University of Michigan. And
It just so happens that some of the rich people that Michigan has in their coffers will be giving their own money there. It's basically like a bunch of Ed Martins that now can just give the money.
there is a $5 limit on donating to the football team. There is no maximum on what the players can make here. So the goal is to make $50,000 a month total. So that's basically,
It's 100,000 people at $5.
Oh God! Well, that's not. Yeah, that's not true.
No.
So we'll get the accurate numbers on that. Also, Lynn Henning, longtime Detroit News columnist, is going to join us. There are some major problems going on with the Detroit Tigers. Major. And we have talked about the Robbie Grossman situation a little bit at the end of the show.
It's gross.
That is the epitome of everything that's wrong with the Detroit Tigers organization now. And A.J. Hinch admitted it as much. And I'll read for you the quote coming up a little bit later on in the show as well when we talk to Lynn Henning, top of hour noon. But we will be Lions heavy in this first hour here. Herman Moore going to join us next. Really excited about the show here today. Maz, as we mentioned, Braylon will be on tomorrow with us. Looking forward to having him back. But in the meantime, we're going to take a break. When we come back, it is Herman Moore. But first, a message from Guardian Alarm. They're your local security experts, have been for over 90 years. You see that black and yellow sign out in front of your house? Tells the bad guys one thing: stay out. Whether you're home or on the road, they're 24/7 local monitoring. Make sure what is important to you stays safe. Call that number right now, 1-800-STAY-OUT. That number again, 1-800-STAY-OUT. Call them right now. Tell them Woodward Sports sent you. We'll be right back with Herman Moore.
Stay out.
He's going deep, right side. Oh, that is Edwards out there. He goes up in the air at the goal line.
Hey, it's Brandon Edwards here, wanting to welcome the sports marketing agency to Woodward Sports Network, to the family. Glad to have you guys. For the last decade, the sports marketing agency has literally leveraged athletes around issues such as mental health and substance abuse.
Glad that we can finally start trying to get the stigma off of mental health that's been there for all these years.
New to the game or a season better? OddsTrader.com has everything you need to make the right bet ahead of kickoff. Begin your handicapping journey with OddsTrader. Improve your edge by finding the best price on every game from sportsbooks in your backyard. Take advantage of the numerous sign-up bonus offers to pad your bankroll. Dive into key game statistics, player performance, and even account for the projected game day weather. Best of all, you can use the OddsTrader bet tracker to keep a log of your action. Welcome to OddsTrader, and best of luck.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
Hey, it's Maz for Big Boy. It's the Shabbat summer at Big Boy. Try a chicken club, a chicken cordon bleu, or a sunrise ham and cheddar, all on a delicious grilled ciabatta bread. If you want to keep it light, they got some great salads: the Michigan apple, the chicken Caesar, or the Greek salad. How about all of those and cool off with a nice hand dip shake? How about a chocolate, strawberry, or even a cookies and cream? You heard it here first. Summer just got better at Big Boy.
Welcome back, Ryan Ermanni. Braylon Edwards out today. Tom Mazawey moves from the Maz chair to the big chair. Thanks. Always great to do a show with you,
I love
Maz.
you, man.
Seriously, it
We're
is
just
fun.
talking.
Before we get to Herman Moore, I want to let you know Lions did announce some roster moves today. Nothing really major because they had to get down from 85 to 80 players.
By 4 today.
And then next Tuesday, 7 days from today.
That's a big one.
It is. You got to get down to the mandatory 53-man roster.
That's
so today,
hard, man.
that is hard.
So hard.
The Lions released linebacker Sean Dion Hamilton, not unexpected, and placed Jason Kabinda, Romeo Okwara, Josh Paschal on the reserve PUP list, and placed Jameson Williams on the reserve non-football injury list. And they did all of that. Again, the Williams move, he is out for the first 4 games.
But we already knew that. I mean, he hasn't practiced. He's been there at practice. Matter of fact, they say he's there every day. He's involved. He's engaged. He's a great teammate. Can't wait to see this kid in action. And no better person to talk to than Herman Moore about that, right? The wide receiver extraordinaire, number 84. There's another 84 on this team, by the way. Did you see that tight end?
I did. I actually commented about that during the game.
He's pretty damn good.
I mean, it's fine. I
know I don't like the number. I'm with you.
I will ask Herman about that.
Yeah.
Because it's just so hard to see 84 on another player.
Yeah.
You know,
I don't like it.
It's for me, it's hard to see 4 on another player,
well,
to be honest with you.
I don't think that far.
Jason Hansen
I know that.
is one of the greatest Lions ever to wear the uniform. He just is. Now, you may not like the fact that he's a kicker, but if there's ever a kicker that deserves to be in the Hall of Fame, to me, Jason Hansen should be on that short list. And joining us now is number 84, an all-time Lions great, Herman Moore. Yeah!
The H-Man.
Herman.
Hey, what's up, fellas?
You, baby. Thanks so much for joining us. First, before we talk about the Lions, I got to ask you this, and I'm sorry to hit you. I don't want to get you in trouble or anything, but I tweeted about this the other night. I have such a hard time seeing number 84 on another Lions player.
Yeah, I do as well.
I just am. And to that fact, I have a hard time seeing 4 on another Lions player. And I understand Jason Hanson's a kicker, but I mean, does it bother you? How do you feel about it? Let me phrase it like that. How do you feel about seeing number 84 out there in a Lions uniform?
Oh, at this point, it doesn't matter, because if it was going to be retired, it would have been retired a long time ago. I look at guys like Charlie Sanders. I look at Jason Hanson, Lomas Brown, just some of the guys that are Hall of Fame worthy, and that at some point when you think about Lion legends, you want to show them that it goes beyond just their days on the field. It is something to do with that jersey being retired, but it is. You got to give numbers to players. It used to bother me, I think, early on in my career, but now it really doesn't.
Well, it still bothers me, Herman, for what it's worth.
Doesn't look right. It just doesn't look.
I will say that it doesn't look right when I see players who have that on. I think Bill Schrader.
That's right. He did wear 84.
First. And then I think Brandon Pettigrew, McDonald, Royal, and some others. I mean, I think I've kind of gone down that list a little bit.
Oh, man. Either way, neither here nor there.
We still know who number 84 is.
Yeah, we all do. And that's what matters.
Hey, it's on your Twitter line, right?
H-Man84, that's right.
H-Man84.
Hey, you're going to always see the 84. Now, I got a couple of nicknames that I'm going to be bringing out this year. Now, I'm not going to reveal them just yet, but I'm going to have to come back on the show when it's time for me to reveal those.
You got an invite any day of the week. Herman, let's start with the wide receivers right off the bat. Jameson Williams goes on PUP today. He's going to miss the first 4 games of the season. We pretty much knew that. How early can a guy like Jameson Williams, do you think it's going to take for him to get acclimated? It's going to be a month into the season. He's going to have missed training camp. What are reasonable expectations, do you think, should Lions fans place on this youngster?
Well, one is just having them come in and be able to actually work at the level of the NFL. People think that there's this natural, even if you come out of the SEC or you come out of these big conferences, it's an easy crossover. But in the skill position, it takes a little bit of time. I think also the body has to catch up. He hasn't had that physical endurance. He hasn't had to go out and have the physical contact that he's going to be basically thrusted into. So I look at, if I had to guess, I would say near the latter part of the year, if he stays healthy during that entire tenure, that he could start to really come on. Could it be sooner? Yeah, he could catch fire, but I just wouldn't put any high expectations on him. So I don't think he needs the pressure. I think this is a very talented young player that's going to help continue to provide some significant depth to the wide receiver unit beyond what it has. So I would be very careful with how I bring him about.
The great Herman Moore joins us at HMan84 on Twitter. Great follow. And, of course, he's still with the Lions, pregame, preseason, all of that. He's always a fixture at Ford Field if you want to get with him. I want to ask you about this receiver club themselves. Now, we talked about Tom Kennedy, number 85. What's your take on him, first of all? Would he make this team had Jameson Williams been healthy?
I think he would have been on the outside looking in. I always look at it like this. You're going to find guys that are going to shine in preseason. Really, it's about what do you as a coach take away from that in terms of moving a player up or down in a roster or justifying giving them a roster spot. I have no problem with if they decide to open it up, but you definitely want to make sure when you look across the roster itself that because you have so much depth at the wide receiver position, I still think it's tough to really justify that component. But, you can make changes throughout the roster at any time. But Tom Kennedy's, he's shown some consistency. He's had some really big games. He's shown that he could become in and be that possession-style receiver. But it's preseason, and it's not to take anything away from him or from what he's accomplished during that time, but we all know how that works out.
Herman, episode 3 of Hard Knocks tonight. Have you been watching?
You know what? It comes on too late for me, man. I'm 52 years old. I go to bed early, so I get up and I watch the highlights.
I'm sure you've seen clips and episodes in the past. Do you think we're getting an authentic view of these guys, or is it played up for the camera? Is it a television show?
Yeah, you know what? I think that it's definitely it's made for television. It's entertainment. But I also believe that if you look at the exposure that it gives this team, if you look at the charismatic coach that you get in Dan Campbell, and you have some very good characters within the locker room, I think it makes for good entertainment. It gives them a lift. It gives them something to look forward to going into training camp, but also coming into the season. I like it. For more than anything, Detroit has not been in that major media market, so it does a lot in terms of the exposure that it brings to the organization and also to these players and the fan base. Our fan base is phenomenal, as you know. So it's been great to see that.
Herman, you mentioned the coaches. What do you think it would feel like to be a player when you're coached by, Deuce Staley, Aaron Glenn, Dan Campbell,
Aubrey Pleasant, Hank Fraley,
Antoine Randall Allen.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like former players galore. Do current players take more when the coaches have actually been in these spots?
They do, and I'll give you, while I can identify with that, Charlie Sanders. Many people don't remember, that was my receivers coach.
Wow.
When I came in 91, they moved Charlie. He coached a little bit of the tight ends. Then he became a receivers coach. And when we got away from the run and shoot, and he was there pretty much during those years where you saw me really flourish, and the communication and all those things. Charlie was my coach. And also Raymond Berry. Many may not remember, he came in for a short period of time. We had Jim Zorn, who was here for a brief time, and we had some players who were former players that stepped into those roles. And what I saw was the communication was excellent. The criticism was received in a whole different manner than a coach who had never really gone through it, and they're trying to tell you a lot of things, especially in critical, heated moments, and you just know the identification is not there. I mean, you can try and simulate it and say you coached all the players in the world, but unless you've been out there on the field, you really don't have that same identification and rapport that you will get with a player when you can say, hey, I understand completely what you're talking about.
Hey, Herman Moore joins us, a great number 84, great all-pro wide receiver with the Lions, and then finished with the Giants, the G-Men. I wanted to ask you about a couple of the players on this team. A guy like Craig Reynolds, I mean, he impresses the hell out of me. How hard it would be for him to break into this? Maybe, I don't know. I would think about starting this guy if DeAndre Swift isn't the guy I thought he was.
I like Craig Reynolds. I think he's shown some consistency. He runs really hard, and then he shows that you can also give him the ball. He can carry the load a little bit. I also, when you talk about the depth at the running back position, I will say this: the Lions, I think their equity in offense and their opportunity to become real potent at offense is going to come down to their efficiency and their ability to run the football. And I say that because that line, their linemen are some of the best in the NFL right now.
Right.
When they played it well, they played together. Their running game, when it goes, you can see when they make a commitment to it. And granted, it's again preseason, but if they commit to that and able to get that going, that's going to be really tough for teams to say, how do you handle such a balanced team that can run the football, that can run behind a good offensive line, they have the pocket protection, and now they have game playmakers on the outside. So it's turning out to be, I think, a very good, they've assembled a really good offensive unit that can create some problems.
Next week, I'm coming up on Sunday, they wrap up against Pittsburgh. Your old man, Charlie Batch's old team there back in the day. They're not going to play Jared Goff. The rest of the starters will play a half. Do you agree with that philosophy, setting out Goff? He's had one series so far in the preseason.
I do believe once players get to a certain level during their career, he's getting enough reps in practice. For those who don't understand, when you're there, it's the mental reps as you get to a certain component, a certain part of your career. Then the physical side is really important, I think, in the early part of your career to the middle. But then at this level, it's the mental component. It's being fresh. It's making sure you're mentally repping everything. You're looking at film. But going out and throwing a couple extra passes, giving a few other handouts, it's not going to give them any more other than the adrenaline rush that you get in a game. That's the only thing I can glean that they would get from a player, especially your starters, playing that last preseason game.
Hey, Herman, last thing. This feels different to me. Does it feel different to you, these guys? Dan Campbell, Brad Holmes? Yeah.
Yeah, it does. Ryan, it feels different upstairs. It feels different down to the field. It feels different with the players. But you know what I love the most? It all feels the same, though. You don't feel there's a disconnect when you start talking about those changing levels of the organization, from the administrative, being the football operations, down to the coaches, down to the players. I feel like they're one. And that's what's been a great thing to see. So I'm super excited about seeing what this team does. But, you still got to go out and you got to win. But that does not, keep me from going out and wishing them all the best and hoping that they have a successful campaign.
Amen to that. Hey, you got a hell of a great background there. Lions Nation Unite. Tell me about that.
It is, man.
And
yeah, we've been doing that and following you guys, and I appreciate the love that you guys are showing us, and we're continuing to grow our channel. This is really a fan-based platform, and they've really gravitated towards it, and we look forward to having a great upcoming 2022 season.
The great Herman Moore, we absolutely love you, H-Man. Thanks for doing this, and hope to talk to you again down the road, buddy.
See you, Herm.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, guys.
You got it on Twitter at HMan84, the one and only number 84 for the Detroit Lions. A lot to chew on there. We're going to take a break, react to that next. It does feel different to him. Plus, I want to get into some preseason stuff, piggybacking on the starters playing against Pittsburgh. We'll do that next. First, a message from Gypsy Vodka.
Your official drink of summer is here. The Mulligan, made with Gypsy Vodka. When you are out on the golf course or hanging out in the backyard, the Mulligan is calling your name. Ask for the Mulligan at your local golf course or at a Total Wine near you.
Detroit's downtown summer playground is back. Open all summer long, the Monroe Street Midway. Enjoy roller skating, free Wi-Fi, food trucks, art installations, and so much more. Don't forget to take advantage of the basketball court, putt-putt, and, of course, family programming all summer long. All art installations are done by Detroit artists, and it's a fun, safe event from people 1 to 100. Go to deckedoutdetroit.com.
You don't have to go to the beach, man. You don't have to get your butt crack full of sand. You just need a little chili peppers, man, to get that glowing beach chili peppers tan. Woo!
With 26 locations in the Metro Detroit area and more coming, Chili Peppers Tanning is where you'll find the cleanest salons in the D. Join the Pepper Club for the best deals on unlimited tanning. Head to chilipepperstanning.com.
You just need a little chili peppers, man.
We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network.
Summer is almost over and it's time to go back to school. So if you haven't enrolled your child anywhere just yet, look no further than the Academy of Warren.
Academy.
Join us on Friday from 3 p.m. till 6 p.m. for a carnival and parent orientation, while the Bottom Line, our show, broadcasts live from the event. Enjoy games, barbecue, rides, and register for the school year on the spot. Come see what the Academy of Warren is all about.
Academy.
Academy.
Carnival.
We're going to talk to Brandon Brown, Michigan writer for the Wolverine. We'll do that coming up in about 8 minutes from now. I want to continue on with the Lions talk. And again, Tom, one of the things we've been talking about for the last months is that this thing does feel different. When I hear Herman Moore say it, a guy who has played in this organization, who has followed this organization, who has covered this organization,
who's been through a lot of different coaches and GMs and presidents,
and has been on the inside. Mm-hmm. For him to say it, it really carries weight.
Well, it does, and anybody could see that. I mean, anyone. The Detroit Lions are now a national broadcasted team. They are a team that people are talking about. And we thank HBO's Hard Knocks, NFL Films, for putting them on. But even before that, Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes and Chris Spielman and the rest of this crew, this whole coaching staff that we've been talking about, they've been putting the Lions on notice. People are starting to talk about the Detroit Lions. I think the days of when the Lions are on the clock ESPN just takes the pick and goes to the commercial. I think those days are over. I mean, it is owed to the great people here in Detroit, the fans of this team, that, we can laugh. They have not won since 1957. There's no team that's currently playing in the NFL older than the Lions that have never visited and been in a Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. Yes, the Cleveland Browns haven't been in a Super Bowl, but they are reborn as an expansion Cleveland Browns team. And the old Browns are the Ravens, and they've done what they do. They've become a great franchise. This team now has an opportunity to stay on the forefront. I love hearing them on NFL Network, on Good Morning Football. They love talking about this team now. Mm-hmm. And Pat McAfee loves talking about this team now. The national pundits, Colin Cowherd, they're cool now. And wait till 2024 when the draft is here and they have new uniforms and they have new helmets and all of that kind of jazz. Just wait for that, because that's when it's really going to hit, because they are going to get them, Ryan. Watch 2024, the new look Lions.
But again, as Herman Moore just said, though, you've got to win football games. Dan Campbell admitted weeks ago, he said, look, all this is nice, all this love we're getting is great, but if I go out there and we go 0-3, you're going to be wanting to run me out of town. Correct. And that's just how this business is. So, yes, I do believe wins are needed. Wins early are needed. You can't jump out of the gate 2-5.
No.
No, you can't do it.
Well, they have 5 games before they break. So what's your best record? I know you think they're going to be
4-1.
I know. Will you be happy with 2-3?
No, I will not be happy with 2-3 because I think they win the opener. So I think that they win the opener against Philadelphia. I think that's almost, I don't want to say lock, but I know the NFL.
Me too.
Look, they lost 44-6 last year.
And the spread's 4.
Yes. That's how I know the Lions
are
going to win.
But it is opening week. So
that's how I know the Lions are going to win.
What happens when you first go up to bat, when you first swing a golf club? For golfers, first time all year, you have a great round. Bowlers, they're going to shoot a 600, maybe a 700-plus series. A batter, they're going to go 3 for 4 the first day. That's why Vegas is giving the Lions the home dog effect. They're only a 4-point underdog at home.
Fair enough. And there's plenty of time to talk about that Philadelphia Eagles game. And
they practice tonight, by the way.
They do practice tonight. Speaking of that, Dan Campbell talked about practicing tonight. 6 o'clock they'll be on the field. Here you go.
Oh, just to change it up. We're in the 4th week of training camp, and so I think to those guys to be, you're not in the lights, but yet, the sun's going down a little bit, and it's a change up. I always, as a player, enjoyed night practice, and everybody I was ever around did. And so I think it'll be good. We'll be full pads. It'll be, we'll be going. And it's really going to be our last really good Detroit versus Detroit practice we're going to have for camp.
Listen, we talking about
there he is, Detroit against Detroit.
Not a game, we talking about practice.
Here's what I don't get. Call me a cynic. Everyone does. But why are you going to play your starters and not play your quarterback? And I know you're afraid he's going to get hurt. Look at Zach Wilson. Look at Kayvon Thibodeau. I get it. But don't you have to be ready to play?
I think they are getting ready to play, and
I know, but he's not playing against the Steelers.
The Steelers are playing their ones for a half too. That's one of the things that Dan Campbell said yesterday was, he talked to Mike Tomlin. They're going to play their ones. The Lions will play their ones minus Goff. Look, there's smart, and then there's getting ready for the season, and then there's being silly. And I think all this work they're doing right now, and I think the week of work that they had a couple of days against Indianapolis, was essentially like a preseason game. While Jared Goff did not play on Saturday, he did practice fully those 2 games against the Colts. I do think that matters in the preseason, but we'll see. And maybe this gives the Lions an opportunity to see how these backups do truly.
It is a battle
against the ones of the Pittsburgh Steelers defense and with their own ones.
I think it's dead even, honestly.
Yeah,
I'm looking at – honestly, can I say something?
Yep.
Without being embarrassed?
Yep.
I kind of like both of them all of a sudden. I know I've only seen them in 3/4 of a game against Atlanta and the entire game last week against Indianapolis. But they don't look bad to me. They really don't look bad. Maybe, and I don't want Adam charging in here and pulling me off the microphone.
No, Tom, they're terrible.
They don't look. I'm going to have a hard time cutting one of them. If I'm the Turk, I don't want to be the Turk to cut one of those guys.
But they're equally as bad, too. I mean,
Tim Boyle's a bigger guy.
One of the things we did yesterday was there's a list. I think it's like Our Lads or whatever. It has the quarterback
Our
depth.
Lads was great
Yeah.
back in the day.
Has the depth charts. Quarterback, starting quarterback, backup quarterback.
Yeah.
There is no team that has a worse backup quarterback. Maybe the Houston Texans. Maybe the Houston Texans.
Yeah.
Than the
I get
Detroit
you.
Lions.
Just
Go look.
In name, for sure.
In name and in play.
I know. Tim Boyle I don't know. He looks like a quarterback to me.
But
he
again,
really does.
Both of those guys, Tom, and it's one of the preview clips that we cannot show you because of the YouTube rights from Hard Knocks tonight. Dan Campbell addressing the team, and he pulls out this pair of pants.
I saw that.
He
dusts them off.
Dusts them off, and he says, "We had that game in the bag, and we had to hold on for dear life.
Yeah.
Instead of having it in the bag and putting them away." He said that's what this organization needs to do to take the next step. I feel like those two quarterbacks that you're mentioning are just good enough for you to fail.
They're the dust?
They're the dust. Okay?
I'm just saying I'm coming down from my mountain of disgust from the Lion backup quarterbacks. Why didn't they draft a quarterback? I still to this day don't understand why they still didn't draft a quarterback. But okay, I'll wait till next year.
Fair enough.
And I'll take our draft pick.
All right.
Good luck to Tim Boyle and to David Blau.
Fair enough. Plenty of Lions talk still to go. I do want to change it up. Major Michigan news came out this morning, late last night and early this morning. We'll tell you about that coming up next. Ermanni and Edwards, Bottom Line, Woodward Sports Network.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Hello? Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
3 NBA championships. Detroit fans were there. 11 Stanley Cups. Detroit fans were there. 4 World Series wins. Detroit fans were there. And that one Lions playoff win in 1991? Yeah, Detroit fans were there. Woodward Sports, where the fans are.
Just to put a wrap on some of the Lions talk that we've been saying, I do think this is the right thing to do to play these starters in preseason game number 3, because you're going to have a week off and then you're going to play the Philadelphia Eagles. You have got to get some sort of reps. They were just talking about Aaron Rodgers on ESPN a moment ago because he is crawling up his receivers, you know what.
Oh, yeah.
He is on those wide receivers, talking about the drops and talking about bad routes and stuff like that. And then one of the questions to him was, what about missing OTAs? You knew that you had this brand new crop of wide receivers. Yeah. Don't you think maybe it would have been important to show up to the OTAs? Would that have helped a little bit? No, not really.
Right. Of course. What else is he going to say?
But I think that's one of the things that's different about Jared Goff this year, and why I think it's okay for him to sit this game. He's been working with these guys all summer. He's been working with these guys for a long time now.
No doubt. Matter of fact, they even had their own little thing before OTAs. Remember, they were away somewhere. I forgot, maybe not some island or whatever, but they were away. Him and the receivers were away working on this year upcoming games. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed for him. I think maybe he could turn a corner this year.
I am so excited about the Detroit Lions, and you can say whatever you want about me. And again, one of the reasons I'm so excited about them is because I do think everything is a unifying voice. You know, when you had heard Herman Moore talk about they're coming as one, back in the day there'd be separate areas of the building.
Yeah.
Where the ownership group and the sales office not allowed down here, and the players couldn't go here, and this president's office over here, and everything was just blocked off, and nobody was working together. Now everybody's working together, and I do think that makes a major difference and sells a message within the organization that these guys are coming to play. And I cannot wait for that game week 1 against the Philadelphia Eagles. I also cannot wait for Michigan's week 1 game. And to help us talk about it, Brandon Brown's SI.com Wolverine Digest. Brandon Brown, look at this shot. Holy Toledo. You want to talk about commitment, ladies and gentlemen. This is what I'm talking about.
Thanks, B.
Brandon, how you doing, buddy?
Yeah, life's all right now, fellas. Life is all right.
That is so good. So, Brandon, we won't take much.
Is that part of the NIL deal?
Yeah, this is part of the new NIL deal. Brandon, there was some major news this morning with Michigan NIL. Juwan Howard coming out within the last couple of days saying he wishes Michigan would do more in terms of NIL. And then we see this with the football team. What can you tell us about I want to get it right, the Ann Arbor NIL Club?
Join.
It looks, all right. I'm going to sound like a dick a little bit. I really don't want to. I swear to God, I'm not trying to come off that way. But okay, here, I'll say this. Having anything in place is better than nothing. That's a good place to start. But I do feel like some of this stuff is really, really over-promoted and kind of under-delivered a little bit. I mean, like, if you look at those numbers, all right, so this company, Yoke, that is kind of in charge of the back channel stuff, the handling of the taxes and all that stuff. It's all on their website. You can go to that Ann Arbor NIL Club and read about their message and how it works and how everything goes. And they have this $50,000 monthly goal, right? That's a pretty big number. You look at $50,000, that's a solid number. Well, Yoke takes 18% of that. So right off the top, Yoke gets $9,000 of that $50,000. Then you take the remaining $41,000 and you divide it among 115 players, and each guy's getting about $350. Like,
wow.
that's not nothing, but I do feel like if the fans it's not that much, man. I mean, that's not a game-changing amount when you talk about the recruiting trail or doing this or doing that. I feel like if fans knew that if they're given $50, that Yoke is getting $9 and their players that they love are getting 35 cents each, I just don't know if they'd be that pumped about that.
Hey, Brandon, is this, and I agree with you on this, this is basically GoFundMe renamed. Why don't they just start a GoFundMe page? Michigan football, GoFundMe.
Right, and so yeah, I mean, like, this concept, this crowdsourcing thing is not a new concept. The curiosity is, like, where's the fat donor who can throw out $25 million into this chunk, and then now you're talking. Now you've got some real money to throw around, and then you can start to see some of the numbers like we've seen at Texas Tech and SMU, where each player's getting $30,000-$40,000, man. Then you can start to talk about a game changer on the recruiting trail. But the way that it's currently set up is I think it's a little misleading. Again, it's better than nothing. $350 is better than $0, but it still needs, and again, this isn't really me saying this. You mentioned it right off rip. Juwan Howard's talking about we need to do more. A couple months back, Hunter Dickinson's saying Michigan is flat out going to miss out on guys because of the way that they're doing this. And that's not my opinion. That's one of the most marketable guys on campus and one of the most recognizable head coaches in the country of college basketball. So it's an issue that's still ongoing. And while this is a positive step, it's not a game changer. It's just not, unless you get some donor to throw $100 million in there, and then you can really start to divvy up some real coin for these guys. But until that happens, it's kind of a drop in the bucket compared to what some other schools are doing.
Are they allowed to drop that much in at a time, or is there a limit that I read? I thought it was a $5 limit.
$5 minimum, no maximum.
Oh, $5 minimum. Got it.
Right. So as far as I know, and again, this is all relatively new. I haven't combed through the website, page by page or anything like that yet. But when you look
I can't
at
imagine why not, Brandon.
Exactly. When you look at the numbers at a place like SMU or Texas Tech, like, they're doing it. Like, it's being done. So yeah, I don't think there's anything holding anybody back from it.
Where's the big donor? Where's the guy that the school is named after? The guy that owns the Miami Dolphins. Stephen Ross. What the hell's his? Can't they get a couple extra dollars from him?
I mean, when you're talking about Stephen Ross, who throws half a bill, that's a bill with a B.
Yeah.
You know, he's done that, you know, for the business, not all for athletics, but I mean, he's given more money than anybody to the university. He could fire off a check, and it's incredible money for you and I, but for him, he does this pretty regularly. If he fires off a check for $50 million, Michigan's NIL and roster is taken care of for literally like 30 years. And it's an amount that every player can touch on, and it can be competitive with anybody else around the country. So I don't know. It's weird.
Talking to Brandon Brown, publisher at Wolverine Digest, SI.com, on beautiful vacation right now, kind enough to give us a couple of minutes here. Brandon, it's so hard because we're so beholden to what they tell us. But to cover Michigan football right now, how would you characterize how camp is going? Offense, defense, generically, big picture. What would you say about it? Because unless you're Jerry DiNardo or Dave Repson, you don't get to watch practice.
No soup for you.
Yeah, I had a little tweet about that. And
I loved it, too, by the way.
You know,
I loved it.
Yeah,
I loved it.
People, the really slappy fans are like, he doesn't owe you anything. I'm like, no, I know he doesn't. But when he tells us in a press conference to go ask those guys, it's like, come on, dude, we're here every day. Give us 15 minutes. Come on. But, you know, from what we have gleaned, from what we've heard from the coaches and the players at the press conferences and talking to some people who do get to see practice, it's humming. I mean, like, you know, the guys at Big Ten have said maybe the best practice they've seen in the entire conference, very NFL-like, very business-like. The team is talented. They're ready. They're confident. And that's how it should be after the season that they had last year. They returned pretty much everybody on offense, probably improved offensive line. Sure, the defense lost a lot of production, but they've got talent there. They just haven't, you know, not a lot of experienced guys. And so they're healthy. They've got this quarterback battle, which obviously everybody's kind of talking about. And, you know, wherever you fall on that camp, I mean, you've got two guys who can start and who can play. And from all accounts, they're ready to go, man. And they're going to be, I mean, they're going to win like 300-10 through the first 3 weeks of the season. And then, you know, they're probably going to be favored in every game until that showdown in Columbus. So, yeah, Michigan's got everything going for them right now on the field. And I think Michigan fans are really excited. I'm excited to cover it. It's much more fun to cover a successful team. And they're ready to go, it sounds like. You know, everybody, I think the biggest thing is that they're healthy. I mean, Jim Harbaugh said, he's like, this is probably the healthiest we've ever been through camp. And, you know, he gave testament to the Abigail O'Connor, the nutritionist, and getting everybody's body and weight right. And then, of course, Ben Herbert and the strength staff, and everybody's ready to go, man. So, yeah, it's looking pretty good as we're, you know, what is it now, 12 or 11 days away from the opening kick.
Can't wait, man. Brandon, let's get, you know, the elephant in the room is always JJ against Cade. How
yeah.
If Cade continues to play, does JJ stay here, or is he getting the hell out of here? And how about the other guys that are looking at this program? The other 5 stars, 4 stars, whatever star you want to look at. Who's coming here then?
That's like $1 billion question. I mean, JJ seems like, both of them seem like the kind of guys who would be loyal and stick it out and, you know, put in the sweat equity and things like that. And, you know, JJ's kind of in that, like, if he's not the guy this year, he's kind of in that no man's land where he's been here a year and a half and, you know, but the kid's talented as hell, and he's a competitor, and he wants to play, man. He doesn't want to stand there and watch. So that's a really interesting dynamic for both of them.
Or playing junk time.
I mean, or yeah, whatever the case may be, you've got a couple packages, so you play 10 or 15 snaps. Like, that's not what JJ wants. You know, if JJ does, you know, pass Cade up, he just all he did last year was go 12-2 and win the Big Ten and go to the playoffs. So it's like, both of these guys are kind of in the same boat. Whoever wins the job, the other one's got a decision to make. But both of them kind of seem like they love it at U of M. But golly, man, like, loving a school's, that only takes you so far. You got to play. You got to get yourself out there. There's NIL money to be made now. That's a whole other angle. That's now an issue for especially at the quarterback position. And so it's really, really interesting. And as far as guys who want to come there, I mean, we've already seen Michigan miss out on some dudes that were at the top of their board. I mean, whether or not you think C.J. Carr always wanted to go out of state, or, you know, he wasn't going to go to Michigan because of who he was, I just don't buy that. I mean, the kid's been in maize and blue since he was in diapers, and if you had an offense that highlighted the quarterback and let him throw for 4,500 yards and 40 touchdowns, like, that's going to be appealing to a quarterback, but they don't do that. Dante Moore's committed to Oregon now, so I mean, like, there's examples of quarterbacks looking elsewhere when it kind of felt like a layup for Michigan, but You've got a 5-star kid in JJ who's still buying his time and might not play, and when they do play, they hand it off 50 times and they win. I mean, so it's like, what the hell do you do with all this stuff? Like, you can't really hate on it, but at the same time, if you look at it just from a big-time quarterback perspective, it's kind of a hard sell. And so I'm not sure how it's going to play out with the two guys that are already there, and as far as reeling guys in the future, it's looking like it could be tough.
Yep.
Brandon, final thing, and you mentioned the University of Oregon. There was a report yesterday out that they're eyeing a move to the Big Ten. Outside of Notre Dame, is that the creme de la creme, Oregon?
I like them.
That's very appealing in a lot of ways. And I mean, I don't know. I mean, you guys probably know more about this than I do. Even like, what is really going on with USC and UCLA? Like, are they coming? Are they not coming? It sounds like USC probably is, but there's a little bit of backlash going on with UCLA. I mean, yeah, if you're looking at the Pac-12, I think USC would be at the top, and Oregon's right there. There's a couple other ones that make some sense if you try to kind of, bookend the thing. The geography obviously is a little strange, but you talk about Oregon, Washington, UCLA, USC, Stanford, Cal, maybe, like, that's a pretty good crop of big-time programs with pretty good athletics, very good academics, kind of do it the way that the Big Ten does it. I mean, all that's important to the people making those decisions. So, yeah, Oregon, I think, would be probably number 2 on my wish list behind USC. And if you've already got the Trojans, then, yeah, the Ducks make a lot of sense. And then, of course, yeah, those Irish, man, what are they doing? When are they going to make a decision and come to the Big Ten, which seems like the most obvious choice, even though they've kind of been a part of the ACC for a while. Who the hell knows what they're doing down in South Bend, man? Nobody knows, right? We're trying to figure it out.
They only care about themselves.
Nobody knows, and nobody will know for probably a long time. Brandon, dude, can't thank you enough, man. Great stuff as always. Really appreciate it, my friend. Publisher Wolverine Digest, Sports Illustrated. Follow him on Twitter at BSB_Wolverine. Brandon, thanks so much, dude. Now into that water, okay?
Yeah,
Take
buddy.
that boat
Yes,
out
sir.
behind
Thank you, guys.
All right,
Thanks, Brandon.
Good stuff there. Yeah, and that's really, Mazawey, look, you can get all this talent, and I can't say it enough. This talent that Michigan has accumulated, if you don't use it properly,
you'll use it or you lose it.
Yes, that's the best way we could possibly say it. Going to take a break, come right back. But first, a message from SMA.
The sports marketing agency helps spread awareness about mental health and substance abuse. Their new podcast, This is the F Word, helps spread awareness of fentanyl and other addictions. Go to thesportsma.com if you are struggling or know someone who is.
Life is full of hard choices. We're here to make one of life's biggest decisions as simple as possible. My name is Christina Gennari, and for over 20 years, I've helped hundreds of families buy and sell homes. We cover all of Metro Detroit and more, from large luxury homes to starter homes. We will work hard to make sure that you get the home of your dreams. So if you're in the market today or even thinking about buying or selling in the future, make the obvious choice. Christina Gennari, the obvious choice in real estate. Visit us at soldchristina.com today.
Fellas, let's be honest. We like things to be easy. We like simple stuff, like sports 7 days a week. We like things uncomplicated, like Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Sign in, sit down, watch your favorite team play. And before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
You have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper, tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media.
Get a free Woodward Sports t-shirt. That's right, a free Woodward Sports t-shirt all month long at Big Frog in Novi. Just stop in, tell them we sent you, and they will print you one on the spot. So go to Big Frog Novi today and get your free t-shirt or visit them online at bigfrog.com/Novi. That is bigfrog.com/Novi.
Big Frog.
Ribbit.
That's right, baby. That is right. Ribbit. Guys, we got Lynn Henning coming up, packed for you today. So much news going on, Maz. And just if I could stick with this Michigan situation for just a couple of minutes, I am so intrigued. And I guess I find myself, I think they're going to be 12-0. I think they're going to win the Big Ten, beat Ohio State, beat Michigan State, and then take your chances again in the college football playoff. Whatever happens there, happens there. We'll see.
A lot of brushback lately on the Iowa game. That's the big game.
I mean,
all
look,
of a sudden.
historically,
the blackout game.
Historically, you go to Kinnick, it's going to be tough to play. It'll be Michigan's first game, really, all
game.
year.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens there. But I find myself negatively talking about Michigan's football team, and I don't know why I automatically go there. Like, even now, we're assuming, oh, you know what? If you don't use this talent the right way, nobody's going to want to come here. Why do we assume that they're not going to use the talent the right way?
That's the cynic in us.
It is. Why don't we say, you know what? They've got so much talent out there. They're going to score 45 points a game, and they're going to be real fun this year. They're going to be real fun to watch on television, real fun to watch in person. It's going to be a great year for Michigan. I think you can say that, and you can feel comfortable about that.
You can, but the thing is, we always want what the other guy has. We always want more. We always want. How come they can do that and we can't? It's like my kids. Dad, why do they have that and we don't? Joni got that her iPhone when she was 8 years old. I'm sorry, honey, I don't care. It's. Let's just face it. If you're rooting for the Michigan Wolverines, you're getting old school Michigan values. That's just the way they are. That's the way Jim Harbaugh is, whether we like it or not. We can complain, we can bitch about it all we want. And we could say, man, they're going to get passed up. But you know what? Last year, they showed you what they could be. That team is mostly intact. Yeah, they did lose some first-round draft picks out of that. They also filled the team back up as well. This team can be really good for the next 2 years without any of the big NIL additions that the USC's have done, the Texas A&M's have done, Alabama has done. By the way, congrats to Nick Saban. He's got himself another, $90 million deal?
Yeah.
So he's still the highest paid coach in NCAA football. So, bro, it's your football team. You're going to root for them no matter what. And it just pisses you off when they're not players. They're not the Texas A&Ms. They're not those SEC teams that really put themselves out there and bring talent here. They're going on the winged helmet. They're going on their brand. You're coming to the big house. You're going to play in front of 105,000 fans every week, and you're going to sing the Michigan fight song. That's what they're going on.
The NIL stuff notwithstanding, I will tell you that this is the first year in about 18 to 20 years that you've expected anything about your team. Hear me out here.
Yeah.
This is the first year Michigan fans can point to.
Okay, because last year we weren't thinking of anything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Michigan fans expect to beat Michigan State, to beat Ohio State, to win a Big Ten championship. That is the first time you have had a realistic and large-scale expectation of that. Of course, there's been a few sickos over the years, me included, that thinks every year is our year. Every year is what Michigan football, that's what they're expected to do. But this year in particular, this is the year your expectation feels justified. Last year, I was the only one, if memory serves correct, that said they were going to win 10 or more games.
Facts.
And win the Big Ten championship and beat Ohio State.
Yep.
I got hammered for that. So nobody expected that last year. Even in Lloyd Carr's year, what was it, 06? When they started off the year 10-0 and went to Ohio State. Or was that 10-0, 11-0? I think it was 11-0, went to Ohio State, 1 versus 2. I mean, I'm not even sure that year Michigan was expected to do much under Lloyd Carr.
Hell of a game.
Now you do have that expectation. And I think it's fun to be a part of it. And I'm not sure we know as Michigan fans what to do with that expectation. We have an embarrassment of riches on that team.
When did you ever think, when you say Michigan, do you really think offense? You really don't think offense. I never think offense when I think Michigan. Now you do. This team, like you said, this team could outscore you. And a lot of people think that's the only way they're going to win, is if they outscore the good teams.
But again, also, a lot of people don't understand that, last year at this time, Michigan was not ranked. Nobody knew who the hell Aiden Hutchinson was. I think we revealed yesterday that David Ojabo had like a couple tackles. One. Thank you, Sam, for that. One tackle heading into last year. Turned out he would have been a top 15 pick had it not been for the injury. So what is to say that can't happen with this group?
Look at the coaches he brings in. Look at the coaches this guy brings in, too. He's bringing in Baltimore Raven talent from John Harbaugh, his brother. You lose one, but you bring another one over who might even be better than the guy you lost.
I think it's a really exciting time to be a Michigan Wolverine fan, and we'll see. You put your money where your mouth is, and you're going to have a segment of people out there that are going to, but they don't play anybody, and that's fine. I am not one of those people that want to play anybody.
I know you said that. I do, only because of what I want to. I don't want to be bored.
Again, it would be.
I know you bore me. Give me a win. And let me get to the playoff. I get it. I get what you're thinking.
That's just the way college football is made. Bore me. I don't want to lose to somebody early and then have your season be over because a one-loss Michigan team or a two-loss Michigan team ain't going nowhere.
Notre Dame, Ohio State. One of them is going to have a loss probably after week 1.
That's going to be that game. To see Notre Dame ranked in the top 5, to see Notre Dame ranked in the top 10 is an embarrassment. Ohio State is going to hang 50 on them. They're going to embarrass them by at least 3 or 4 touchdowns.
You think so?
Yes, I do. You can mark my words on that.
I will.
We are going to take a break. Come right back. Talk a little Tigers baseball with Lynn Henning. Really good piece today in the paper and online. I still say paper. In the paper. I love the paper.
Who don't love the paper?
I want to talk to him about what's happening with this organization, Robbie Grossman, A.J. Hinch, and the next Tigers general manager, what he needs to do. Who is that person? We'll talk to Lynn Henning about that next. But first, a message from the Folding Warehouse.
In Hamtramck, great game of football and bowling. Hope Hard Knocks gets there pretty soon. They got to talk to Chris Hutt, the man who invented this great game. 2 ways to play it. $12 unlimited open play or a 2-hour lane reservation, private lane reservation, all for you and 10 of your closest friends. Not bad. $120 split amongst all of you, less than $10 per person. You can have any drink you want, multiple full bars, over 100 beers, and the $2 mystery beer machine. Bring your own food in or have it delivered. Get your fold on. Check it out at foldingwarehouse.com.
It's a great day to get some Centron in your life. Okay. There it is. Centron, here we go. Gotta grab the cranberry. Oh wait, it's 2 for $4. Gotta double up with the classic as well. Centron World, baby. Centron, available at select Krogers, and if you wanna know how, go to @CentronWorld.com. You get dope like me. You know what? Why wait? Great taste, guaranteed.
Ciabattas, summer salads, and dip shakes. All at Big Boy. Try a chicken club, chicken cordon bleu, or sunrise ham and cheddar. All on our grilled ciabatta bread. Or keep it light with our Michigan apple, chicken Caesar, or Greek salad. And don't forget to cool off with a frosty hand-dipped cookies and cream or strawberry shake. You heard it here first. Summer just got better.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
Planet Fitness is inviting all high school teens between the ages of 14 and 19 to work out for free all summer long via the High School Summer Pass. That's right, and it goes all the way until August 31st. Planet Fitness is home of the judgment-free zone where you can work out in a non-intimidating, judgment-free atmosphere with membership starting at only $10 a month.
Only $10?
Only $10, or you can get the black card for $24.99 per month. Join today in club or online at planetfitness.com. Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential.
Essential.
Just want to read this quote to you. This is from Tigers manager A.J. Hinch in regards to the Robbie Grossman situation, which, if you haven't been following along, a couple of minutes from the Braves organization, taking a look at Robbie Grossman's swing, they realized something in the video, made the adjustment, and now he has pretty much taken over for Marcell Ozuna even before the DUI arrest for
And here's
Ozuna.
a guy that was one of the team leaders last year on their Renaissance comeback year, the Tigers. Robbie Grossman was integral part of that team.
How weren't the Tigers able to find that and make that adjustment as well, and just how how damaging are they to their own players right now?
It's embarrassing
to not help them out. I want to read this to you before we get to Lynn. This is Tigers manager A.J. Hinch. I think we need to take a look at how we expand our things for players, the people, the influences from above and inside the clubhouse. It's something that we weren't going to talk about publicly until Robbie mentioned how much help he had gotten. I'm happy for him and certainly aware that we need to get better in a lot of areas in and around the organization. All of the unknowns moving forward, that's a big one. Making sure we have the resources for the players that can bring the most out of them, both downstairs and, quite honestly, upstairs. And that is the Tigers manager, A.J. Hinch. We bring in longtime Detroit News columnist, Tigers writer Lynn Henning joins us now from Georgia, where Robbie Grossman is tearing it up. How you doing, Lynn? Thanks for the time.
Mr. H.
Yeah. Hi, guys. Now that created quite the furor, and Grossman not only initiated it, but then Hinch really threw a couple of logs on the fire. Two things. Since he had that real hot start, Grossman has hit like Grossman. And so be careful about taking those first few games, I think, as any indicator that this is going to continue. Secondly, though, what Hinch talked about was, of course, an indictment of the Tigers. And if you're a manager indicting the Tigers, you're pretty much going along with what Grossman said. I'm a little surprised that Hinch didn't say, look, we knew all along what the problem was with Grossman this year. He got in his head that he was a 30 home run guy after he hit a bunch of them last year. And they did. They knew early this spring that they were having a big problem with his swing. But that doesn't distract from the fact that the Braves did, in fact, do some diagnosis that helped him pretty quickly. And then, of course, that Hinch seemed to corroborate the whole thing with what he said was a systemic organizational problem in evaluating hitters and treating them and so forth. So that's why this thing became a flap, guys. And I'm a little surprised that Hinch was that vocal, but it tells you that he was ready for a new GM if other actions didn't state that already.
Mr. H, go to Isaac Paredes, too. Similar start when he went to Tampa Bay. Obviously, he comes up from the minors. The Rays bring him up against the Tigers, hits a couple of home runs, has a great 12, 13, 14 home run, made AL Player of the Week. He's settled down since. I still think he's going to be a terrific player. I believe that. Another guy that got away, I think. Maybe I'm wrong.
No, you could be right, Maz. I mean, that's one thing when I said about Paredes, and really what we always had to state about him in context was he was so young.
Yeah.
And he had great bat-to-ball skills. And so this guy was waiting to be the kind of hitter they thought he would be. Now, it got very, very clear to American League pitchers and National League pitchers quickly that Paredes, you only could pitch to him in certain spots. And if you avoided getting it down and in on him where he couldn't pull a ball, those home runs were going to disappear, and they have. Now, whether he makes a readjustment, again, when you're as young as he, anything's possible there. But the bloom kind of came off that rose pretty quickly. And that's why it's always tough to simply go with initial segments of these guys and samples of these guys after they've made the change, because things can blow up afterward. But it's certainly something to keep an eye on. And I knew when the Rays went after him, guys, after Paredes, that they weren't viewing him as laundry. He was going to be somebody that they figured had a shot, and he could.
Go back a few years to the David Price trade, and we all thought that was the way we should have done it then, and he's going to put us over the top. It didn't work out, but you trade a guy like Willie Adames, who's become a hell of an infielder now for two teams. And where would this team be had you hold on to him or Eugenio Suarez? I mean, where would they be now?
Maz, I didn't like that trade when it was made for that reason, because I knew Willie Adames was going to be something special. Now, you had all of the bleacher section screaming at that point, he's just a prospect. We're going for the World Series. Okay, but don't be surprised if in a few years you're not going to like this trade, and you're not going to like it for a long time. So I'll meet you halfway on that. And yeah, the Tigers did believe they had a chance yet to deliver that World Series for Mike Ilitch, but in my estimation, it was not going to happen, not after 2013. And when they made the deal for Price in 2014 was really at a point they should have been already undergoing their rebuild, and that postponed matters and probably led to today's mess, even in more direct ways.
Hey, Lynn, just, organizationally, look, this is a results-oriented business, and, this organization is not producing results. I mean, Akil Baddoo batting 193, Cody Clemens 144, Spencer Torkelson 197. Even Riley Green has cooled off a little bit. He looks like the guy, Riley Green, but struggling a little bit now. Jamer Candelario 196.
He shouldn't be on the team.
They've had such a hard time developing position players, and all of their pitchers, all of them are getting hurt. It's just
two different issues, Ryan. I would suggest to you there. And first of all, the developing thing, I think, needs to be replaced by another word, drafting.
Yeah, that's true. Absolutely.
And there's this idea that they can bring in all these boatloads of prospects and develop them, quote unquote. There's a wonderful romantic attraction to that notion, and it's a bunch of blarney. You're not going to do that. You're going to make skilled guys a little more enhanced with their talents, but you're not going to change sow's ears into silver purses. So it's, to me, a lack of guys on that end being drafted or signed out of the international market as kids and then brought up through the farm. That's really where they've missed it over these years and decades. Now, back to the pitchers. I don't think there's anything systemically, again, wrong within the Tigers that's leading to injuries. If anything, their depth has probably been the story of the year. And they have relied on depth all over the place and gotten it. They're starting pitching even after this obliteration to the rotation this year has held up remarkably even through August. It's some of the best in baseball. But you're going to lose arms. And there was always that concern, Ryan, because COVID had set everybody back for so long. Then you had the strike. You had the lockout that extended.
Fair enough.
And everybody knew there were going to be a lot of arms that were going to be breaking down this year across baseball. Now, the Tigers have had an acute problem, but I really don't think it's anything that's tied to their particular grooming process or their medical staff that has anything to do with this. I think it's coincidental, and I also think it's a sign of exactly the warnings that people gave us earlier this year.
Lynn Henning joins us, longtime Detroit News columnist, author, of course, Michigan State savant, expert. I wanted to ask you about the general manager here. Do we have the right people here that can choose the right general manager? And do you have to go out of the organization to get them?
I think they're better off mixing up the gene pool. It's been 20 years with largely the same family tree. And if things aren't in very good shape today, then I think you need to look to have things infused with some different thought processes and backgrounds. So, yeah, I think that's simply logical, and I think that's the way they're going to go. Now, can they make this decision? I think there's this, again, urban myth going on that Chris Ilitch is some flunky who couldn't hire a GM. It's nonsense. This guy is running Ilitch Holdings for a very good reason. He's a very good businessman. He's had to hire a lot of bright lights for that empire. He can do it in baseball. He's not doing it solely. He will have A.J. Hinch as his co-pilot absolutely on this thing. And Hinch knows, of course, the major league landscape. They all know what they need. And they need a general who's going to change the personnel infusion here. Well, they've got a lot of experienced guys who are contenders for this job right now who could come in here and do a good job. And they've got some people who haven't yet climbed to the GM ranks, who are assistants or scouting directors or analytics people, some combination thereof, who also are probably ready to become the next Theo Epstein or Andrew Friedman or Mike Elias in Baltimore. So those people exist. It's just a matter of making an easy call once you've had the interview process, knowing their credentials, and the Tigers will get a good GM. But there's this fear and apprehension that Chris Ilitch won't know what he's doing. He'll hire some flunky. Not going to happen, guys. It's not going to happen. They'll end up with a good GM.
Hey, Lynn, 2 quick ones. Theo Epstein, you mentioned him. Any chance that happens?
No, I don't think so. I mean, anything's possible, Ryan, but I don't think so. Remember, there's a reason he left Boston. There's a reason he left the Cubs. He comes in and tends to burn and burn hot and then burn out.
Right.
You know, that's not necessarily a disqualifier, but I think they're going to look elsewhere. And I think he's probably at this point enjoying his tasks with the commissioner's office. Who knows? He's very secretive. You're not going to get any cards tipped from Theo Epstein. But even though he's the hot celebrity name, I think the Tigers can do at least as well by looking at, again, this marvelous cast of applicants and contestants for this job and simply making an obvious choice.
All right, I've got one off-the-wall name for you here for Tigers general manager choice. Are you ready? I was looking for it.
Here we go.
I am partial to the guy. I am partial to this guy. What about a guy like Chris Getz? Former Major League ball player, assistant GM of the Chicago White Sox, coming at 39, 40 years old, been in player development his whole
Was he the assistant
career.
traveling secretary?
No, he wasn't.
Okay.
But he was not George Costanza.
Yeah,
But somebody like that, somebody like that, going to get a first-year crack at something. Is that a type of guy that Chris Ilitch would give an interview to, take a look at?
Oh, he'll certainly listen to any endorsements about Chris Getz, but if you're going to hire guys at that level, Ryan, they have a whole passel of people who already are existent assistant GMs in that age group, guys with Harvard degrees and law degrees who've worked in analytics, who've worked in player development, who've worked in scouting. I mean, they bring a full quiver. And that's what I'm suggesting to you, is that this is a very enviable position for the Detroit Tigers. You don't have to take any risks or roll any dice here. You can come away, and they will come away, I'm quite sure, with an excellent GM for that job. Everybody wants it. People should not think twice about that. Guys who've been to a lot of fine places know how good this Detroit Tigers job can be. And they are listening, willing to talk, and it will be Chris Ilitch's pleasure, I am sure, to pick from this cast.
What's your take on the playoffs starting so late? The World Series Game 1, October 28th. I mean, come on.
Yeah, Maz, what hasn't been extended, what hasn't been taken over the finish line because of TV and revenues and box offices and regular season elongation. And, of course, this is a product of still starting your season so late because of the lockout.
Play double headers then.
Yeah, and again, I don't have any issue. I don't want to see them playing in the snow.
Oh.
But if it goes into a first few days of November, so be it. That's not the first time we've crossed November in the postseason. I'm more interested that we see really, really good teams in baseball for that length of time, and I like the fact that the expanded playoffs is now making the playoff season that much richer and better.
Yeah.
There was a time when I was against a lot of teams being in it, but when we saw that exposure to it during the COVID year, I said this is a way to fly, and I like it now.
I'm with you there.
Lynn Henning, thanks so much, my friend. Can't thank you enough. Good info there, and we'll just keep an eye out who the Tigers' next general manager will be. We know you'll be on top of it. Thanks so much, Lynn.
Okay, Ryan. Good man. Good talking with you guys.
You bet. Absolutely. Good info there, and sometimes, like the Tigers' pitching injuries, as Lynn kind of put that in perspective a little bit. Good to hear.
How about the Angels? Just want to throw that name out there. They're 52 and 72, and they have the two best players in baseball on that team. Artie Moreno, the owner, today has said he is going to put the team up for sale.
How about that? Look at, they got Anthony Rendon too. Remember him? World
he's
Series
Out
MVP.
for the year. Hardly played a game.
Unbelievable. So we can react to that. Also want to jump back into some NFL stuff as well. Lots of news happening around the league. But first, a message from Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac. If you want a Cadillac today, you can get one at Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac. Yep, Cadillacs on the lot right now. You can drive off in them right now today.
My first car, 74 Coupe de Ville.
Really?
Yeah.
Look at that.
I was styling around in a 74
man.
Coupe de Ville.
Look at that. Tom Mazawey riding large here. And you could ride large like Tom Mazawey does. All you got to do, head on over. LesStanford.com. LesStanford.com.
Find new roads.
Find them.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
Hey, it's Scott from the Woodward Bet Show. Hey, don't mind me. Discount my fun coupons from my Yankee victory yesterday. We've been red hot over there at the Woodward Bet Show at 4:30. You guys got to make sure you get over there and check it out. You also got to get over to that app store and download oddstrader.com. It's got live scoring, play-by-play updates, and it's the best place to check all the odds of sports books right in the palm of your hands. But hey, let's get back to those winners. Let's bounce right back to that Yankee-Mets series. Listen, Mets are 34-10 after a loss. We're going to roll with that. Let's take the Mets as underdogs. Oddstrader.com. Woodward Bets. Check it out.
The only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. You know, because we win. Woodward Sports, Detroit's winning sports network.
At Alta,
Uptime
matters.
Yes,
Alta
it
Equipment
does.
has everything you need to get the job done. Have a big project coming up? Alta Rent has you covered. Call them today at 844-GO-TO-ALTA. That is 844-GO-TO-ALTA.
Go.
Lots of news today, no doubt about it. Tom Mazawey in for Braylon Edwards on the big table. You're in for yourself.
Oh, yeah.
This is what you do.
I just move around.
You just sit over there.
Adam Morency's here today.
Yes, he
visiting
is.
us.
Is that camera on? Say hi to Adam Morency.
He's sitting here.
He's in studio just watching. Hey, Adam.
It was take your kid to school day, so I brought Adam with me.
We love Adam over here. Hey, if you are watching on YouTube, go ahead and hit that like button for us. Let's get to over 100 likes by the end of this segment. Also, subscribe to Woodward Sports as we continue to grow on this platform, nearing 31,000 subscribers here on YouTube.
We're coming up to over 1 million views this month on YouTube.
What's that?
We're coming up to over 1 million views.
Really?
On
Totally
YouTube.
on the network?
Yeah, on this month. This month.
That is incredible.
Yep.
That is incredible. I wanted to pull this.
We had Calvin Johnson on the other day, and that thing is still blowing up on YouTube.
That
He was
is
great.
great.
He was great to have on at
That
the
was great.
at the McCarty Classic.
You were great on that, Matt.
Thank you.
Very good.
You were good that day too. You
Thank you. Called in. Look at that. You never know who you're going to hear here on the bottom line. Wanted to do this quickly before we jump back into the NFL. The following statement has been released by General Manager of the Brooklyn Nets, Sean Marks.
Yes.
Steve Nash and I, together with Joe Tsai, met with Kevin Durant and Rich Kleiman in Los Angeles yesterday. We've agreed to move forward with our partnership. We are focusing on basketball with one collective goal in mind: build a lasting franchise to bring a championship to Brooklyn.
They have
Kevin
a partnership?
Durant,
he's a partner?
Kevin Durant staying in Brooklyn, and moreover, not requiring Sean Marks and Steve Nash to be fired.
I'm glad he's not requiring that.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is incredible. When you have one of, if not the best player in the NBA saying, I don't want to play here anymore, I demand a trade. Okay, I'll come back to you if you fire the coach and the GM.
Who I hired.
And then, okay, I'll stay. All is good.
Yeah.
What a disaster.
He looks bad. He looks really bad.
He does. What a disaster.
This is what happened. The Nets said, take this or leave it. Here's what we'll do for you. You want to be traded? Okay, guess what? None of the teams you want to be traded to can give us enough that we're going to trade you. Okay? That's just the way it is, Kevin. So here's your scoop. You could retire and not take the rest of your money, or you can play here and maybe win the championship you came here for. You told Kyrie Irving and you made this deal, let's go play in Brooklyn together. Okay, let's bring James Harden in here. Oh, that didn't work out. Let's get rid of him, and now you got numbnuts who probably might never play. And I even forgot his name right
Kyrie
now.
Irving?
Yeah, no, the other idiot.
Oh, Ben Simmons.
Yeah, Ben Simmons. He might never play. But you do have a pretty good nucleus. A lot of shooters, though. Lots of guys that like to shoot the ball.
Where the goal is to put it in the basket.
The kicker is, I told you from day one, Kevin Durant should have stayed with the Warriors. Not go anywhere else. He probably would have had 3 more championships in the bag already, and he could have been retiring and going off into the sunset. Maybe try to win 1 more this year with the Warriors. But no, he had to go out and win it on his own because that's what the brethren of the NBA told him to do. Oh, he's not worth it. He's a carpetbagger. He's just going to win a championship there. When, in fact, he found gold in Golden State. He found gold. You couldn't get a better place to play. So when you go from wanting to... How do you beat that? He tried to beat the perfect situation that he had in Golden State, and it blew up in his face. And the Nets have... You're talking to a Nets guy. They have never been a good team. They made the finals a couple of times with Jason Kidd. They didn't win. They barely stayed in the damn series. They never won since Dr. J was sold on the first day that they were brought into the NBA. They are living with the Julius Erving jinx since 1976. They're never going to win. They're never going to win. They're like the Red Sox with Babe Ruth. Until something shakes that up, like in 2004, what Boston did to the Yankees, down 3-0, they came back and they broke the jinx. Something's got to break in Brooklyn. They're not going to win, man. And Kevin Durant has made a fool of himself.
We'll get back into the NFL plus breaking news in college football. We'll get to that next. But first, a message from Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Come to Lady Jane's for an award-winning haircut experience and register for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to win the car of your dreams from Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. No appointment necessary. It is a wicked awesome.
Wicked.
It took exploring 50 different formulas and hosting countless taste tests, but we believe Gypsy Vodka is the smoothest vodka on the market. Don't believe us? Ask the owners.
We're Mike and Adam Kazanowski with High Five Spirits Distillery. We're in close to about 1,200 locations throughout Michigan. We wanted to create a brand that was geared more towards freedom, love, adventure, and at the end of the day, we really wanted to tell a story that inspired other people to take risks, follow their dreams, whatever that might be.
Hey, this is Mr. Kearney, Chief Academic Officer, Academy of Warren. I want to welcome you to the brand new field house. The state-of-the-art facility has a regulation basketball court, volleyball court, soccer field. It can be used for 7-on-7 football. Our K-8 academic features AM, PM, latchkey, small classroom sizes, Learning Street, futuristic media center, free breakfast and lunch, Houghton Mifflin curriculum, academic games, K-8 athletics, and more. Enroll today at academywarren.net.
Get a shot up. This is for the win. All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
OddsTrader.com is the #1 site for your game day bets. Play-by-play updates, live scores, and the best price on every game from multiple sports books. Go to OddsTrader.com right now for your best bet.
Best bet.
You know, NIL's, it's one of these things where it has helped some programs, what they've done in the transfer portal. For us, NIL hasn't hurt me or the team when it comes to recruiting from the transfer portal. Have the conversations of the NIL been brought up in recruiting? Yes, it has. Would I like to see more done for the program in the sense of some of the things that's happening with other basketball programs? Yes, and I know it's going to be a storyline, and it's okay. Do we have a collective here? No. Does other programs have collectives? Yes. Could we be more proactive with the NIL and use more forward thinking? Yes. And I say we, I'm including myself, but our athletic department, as well as Michigan as a whole, we can do better.
Have you been involved with any conversation? Have you shared what you just said?
Yes. Yes, I have.
Anybody have anything else?
So there you have it, Juwan Howard.
Courtesy of the winged helmet.
Talking about NIL, and again, that was video from the winged helmet.
They do a nice job.
Absolutely. Where do I have it here? I just want to get the proper accreditation to it. Here it is. At TWH_Chris. At TWH_Chris. The winged helmet on Twitter. Really good Michigan football content. Michigan athletics content. So
does that tell it all or what?
Well, look, Hunter Dickinson said as much. Brandon Brown had mentioned it earlier in our show about Hunter Dickinson saying it. And Jim Harbaugh has said it. I thought that's one of the reasons why Jim Harbaugh initially wanted to leave, was because of the lack of NIL possibilities. Now, you can say this GoFundMe account that the Michigan football players have started is worth something.
Are you going to put $5 in, by the way?
No.
No?
No. They have gotten enough of my money at the University of Michigan where I do not feel the need to...
No need.
No, there is no need.
They got money.
They got plenty of money. And again, look, here's the big problem with the NCAA and the Big Ten and Michigan and everybody else. They just signed a television deal for $7 billion.
It's going to be 10. It's going to be 10.
That will escalate to $10 billion.
With a B.
You don't need my money. You don't need my $5 in some NIL account. Pay the players. Pay them.
Pay that man his money.
How hard? Don't tell me there's not enough money to go around. When each Big Ten team is going to get $100 million every year.
Wow.
Don't tell me there's not enough money to pay these guys. So when you want the Wild Wild West, all you want, fine. But you can't sign a $7 billion deal, a $10 billion deal to broadcast your football games on Fox, CBS, and NBC, and then tell me you don't know how to pay the players.
Right.
You can't figure it out. Well, you're educators. Figure it out. I could figure it out. You want to pay the players? Let Ryan Ermanni have a crack at it. I got some ideas.
Easy.
It's so dumb. It's so dumb. And we continue to talk about NIL and these GoFundMe accounts that happen so the players can get, $380 a month or whatever the case may be.
Isn't that amazing? Brandon Brown breaks it down to that amount.
That's what it is. It's just annoying.
Do the players know how little they're going to get?
Yeah, but when you're a college kid and you're not making anything, when you're player number 85 on that roster, when you're player 107 on that roster, come on, you'll take whatever you can get.
I know, but how about the stars of the team? How do they look at player number 85 and say, why is he getting the same amount as me? I mean, isn't that going to be an issue? Everyone gets the same. I know, kumbaya.
Well, that's what this is.
Yeah.
That's what this particular one is. That's not the spirit of name, image, likeness. That's not the spirit of the law.
Why don't you take this and give it to the regular players, and then let the other players, your stars, your starters, go out and make whatever the hell they want to make.
Well, that's what the deal is, and they can do that. But the problem is, Maz, when you go to these other universities, those guys, Jordan Addison, we keep using him as the example because he got paid $3.5 million to leave Pittsburgh to go to USC.
Yeah.
How many appearances is he doing? Probably none.
Right. He's probably doing a couple of signings.
That's just the fee. That's just the fee. I don't know. I don't understand it. I don't get it. $7 to $10 billion television deal.
Make it happen.
You can find. Chances are you can find a couple of bucks in there to pay these players.
How about the coaches? They can give the players a little bit of money.
Did you see Nick Saban?
Yeah.
Nick Saban, 70-year-old Nick Saban.
We thought this was it. He's not going to coach anymore.
I'm telling you, are you kidding? An 8-year deal worth of $94 million. That is from Brett McMurphy. Saban remains the highest paid college football coach, $94 million over the next 8 years. When did Bobby Bowden retire? Do we?
He's passed away.
Look at that. I understand that, but I'm just because I said I believe
he probably went to in his 80s.
I believe that if Nick Saban won the national championship this year, he would retire.
Yeah.
But that's not the case.
That don't look like it. He got some Aflac money, too, on top of that $94 million.
80 years old, Bobby Bowden retired at 80 years old, 34 seasons, 28 straight postseason appearances from the Florida State Seminoles. 6 kids. Died at 91.
Yep.
So, I mean, if you're Nick Saban, he looks healthy as a bell.
He does. He looks great. He sounds great. He's, well, except for his spat with Jimbo Fisher, he seems to be accepting everything and just a nice even keel. He got that out of his system, I guess, the Jimbo Fisher stuff on Texas A&M. I'm interested to see where Texas A&M winds up going forward.
I'm interested to
here.
see where Alabama ends up
I think
going forward.
They're still going to be as great as ever.
I mean, again, I think in the next 2 years it'll be college football essentially as we know it to a little degree. But after 2 years, when people figure out NIL, it's going to be a total free-for-all.
It'll be cheaters again. That's all.
Total free-for-all. I am surprised that Saban would want to do this, though, for another 8 years. But guys like him, they don't know what else to do. He's not going to sit at home with wife Terry.
He's going to die on the job.
He's going to die on the job. And not in a bad way. I mean,
the way he wants.
Yeah. I mean, there's just guys that just can't retire.
Look at Coach K. He retired, but his office is still at Duke.
Right.
He's not going anywhere either.
No, he's not. Just not going to travel.
Tom Izzo
probably
got his lifetime deal just a couple of weeks ago.
I don't know if he wants to die in the chair, though.
You don't think?
I don't know if Tom Izzo wants to die in the chair.
I thought he'd be done after 1 or 2 more years. Just done with this whole new kid situation.
Tom Izzo would be great on, like, Inside the NBA. You know, I do. Tom Izzo could probably make $6 to $8 million a year doing CBS or Fox or some sort of college basketball or NBA.
He'd probably say too much, though, because he'd want to get it off his chest.
You know, I don't know. I think Tom Izzo could easily make $6 to $8 million a year doing that stuff. I want to go around the NFL. We'll do it next. Big stories of the day. We'll catch you up. But first, a message from Chili Peppers Tanning.
27 locations and a couple right here on Woodward. Just 2 right down the block. More on the way. And if you join the Pepper Club, they're going to save you $5 on unlimited tanning. Plus, you get to go in the cleanest salons in the D and meet the Peppers girls. The hottest bulbs, the hottest deals, the darkest tans. Your vitamin D headquarters. It's ChiliPeppersTanning.com.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
Hi, I'm John from Better Rate Mortgage, and to me, family is more than blood. That's why I have the biggest family in Metro Detroit. If you're looking to buy a house or refinance and need a loan, come get treated better than family by me and our entire team here at Better Rate Mortgage. We pride ourselves on giving you better advice, better service, and a better loan experience. That's why we are Better Rate. If you're looking for a new mortgage, come get treated like family. Actually, better with Better Rate Mortgage. Visit us at mybetterrate.com or call at 248-480-4467 today.
Make sure you're listening to Woodward Sports all day long. Start your morning with the Morning Woodward Show. Spend middays with Big D Energy. Watch and listen your drive home with the Bottom Line. And don't forget about Woodward Bets Daily. All live, all right here on the Woodward Sports Network.
Woodward Sports Network. Ryan, Ermanni, Tom Mazawey. Braylon will be back tomorrow. If you're watching on YouTube, hit that like button for us. Subscribe to Woodward Sports. If you missed any part of today's show, we talked the latest in the Tigers' general managerial search everything that is happening with the Tigers, organizational problems, Robbie Grossman. We did that with Lynn Henning, top of hour number 2. Also, hour number 1, we hit on Lions football with Herman Moore. Herman had some great things to say about this organization, Jameson Williams, where he thinks this team is going. Also talked NIL, college football expansion to the Big Ten, and the Michigan quarterback duo with Brandon Brown, Wolverine Digest, Sports Illustrated. So you could back the show up if you would like, or check it out later for yourself if you've missed any part of that. Maz, let's go around the NFL.
Let's do it, baby. I'll start us off. The Ravens over the weekend won their 22nd straight preseason game. They just refuse to lose in the preseason. And backup quarterback Tyler Huntley, who I love this kid, by the way. I wish he was a Detroit Lion. I really do. Here's what his stats are. 29 of 32. 238 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. I want to ask, can he be a quarterback 1? And I'm going to ask Sam as well. Can he be a QB1 in this league, Ryan?
Absolutely, 100%. There would be about 8 to 10 teams knocking on his door to be their starter. I mean, I could look at you right now. I think he would be better than Drew Lock in Seattle. I think he'd be better, maybe Marcus Mariota in Atlanta, perhaps. I think you could look at Chicago, Justin Fields. I mean, that's maybe a situation. We don't know yet.
The Giants, Daniel Jones,
Jalen Hurts, perhaps even.
Jalen
I'm
Hurts
just saying.
He's starting to get some love now.
I understand Daniel Jones for sure.
The Jets right now,
Davis Mills in Houston.
Yeah.
You know, the Pittsburgh Steelers, Mitch Trubisky.
Yeah, for sure.
And Kenny Pickett. I think the Jets, as you just mentioned. So just some of the teams that would love to have Tyler Huntley. The Detroit Lions might want to have a look at.
Sam, what do you like about it? You like Tyler Huntley, or do you think he's a preseason quarterback, as you would say?
Tyler Huntley actually showed something in last year's regular season when Lamar Jackson went down. The Ravens didn't miss that much of a beat with him. The Ravens just were down because they were injured across the board. But Tyler Huntley, when he went in, when he was inserted, he played pretty well. So he could definitely start over certain teams, especially those who do not have very good quarterbacks, which is, about like a fourth of the league? Absolutely, he could start.
Lamar Jackson and Tyler Huntley.
He's going to get paid, Tyler Huntley.
Yeah.
I mean, he's, 3 years in the league, 24 years old. He's going to get paid.
Very impressive.
Absolutely.
I wish he was here. All right, number 2. Let's go to the NFL schedule makers. They might not have known ahead of time, or did they know ahead of time? Week number 1, the Browns and the Panthers. That is, of course, my man, Baker Mayfield, going against his old team. And the Seahawks against the Broncos. Of course, Russell Wilson going against Seattle. Ryan, did they know ahead of time?
Absolutely. They absolutely knew about this, and I'm here for it, right? I mean, look, I think whether Deshaun Watson plays for the Browns or not, it's Baker Mayfield against the Browns. And that's the intrigue to me. I want to see it. I want to see Baker Mayfield against the Browns more so than I almost want to see Russell Wilson against the Seahawks, because I anticipate Denver and Russ just rolling Seattle.
Probably.
But I think it's going to be a really good game. I think the Browns are no joke.
No,
I mean, with
not.
or without Deshaun Watson, I think it's going to be a good game.
All right, Sam, what's you?
I mean, with the Baker Mayfield going against the Browns, I think Baker Mayfield is going to be motivated to get revenge on his old team. When it comes to the Russell Wilson playing the Seahawks, I think it's going to be more of a respect thing. The Seahawks he was such a great player for them, but it really does seem like a simulation, doesn't it? That just happened to play out that way. It's going to be a very exciting week 1 of NFL football for sure.
Well, I'll be rooting for both of those guys to win their games, no question about it. Another one.
Definitely a lock that the Carolina Panthers will win, right?
It's not a lock.
It's a lock.
No, the Browns are a good team.
They are?
Yeah.
On opening day?
No, they're not. That's how we lead into this question. What do you think the Browns' record is, guys and gals, in the YouTube chat, in the last 17 years on opening day? I'm going to go with Sam first. Sam, what do you think their record is?
I already know this one, so I'm not going to answer.
What would you have guessed?
I would have guessed something like 5-10.
5-12.
Ryan, what would you have guessed?
4-13, 5-12, something like that.
Go ahead, Fletch. Put up the graphic. Look at that.
loss, tie, loss. Are you kidding me?
16-1.
That's not a typo?
No.
15-1.
15-1? I thought it was 16.
That's what it says here on the list.
I thought it was 16. My bad.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Too many losses. I lost track.
Anyway, they don't win on opening day. And we should find out what the spread is on that game. Browns and the Panthers on that game. I'm going to put you on that, Sam. Get me the Browns and the Panthers. 16-1. That's what I thought. That's what I thought. Maybe I wrote the wrong thing.
Incredible stuff.
But that's pretty bad, man.
Incredible.
Next, let's move on to another team in that AFC South. How about the Jacksonville Jaguars? Yesterday, they released former Lion kicker Ryan Santoso. You remember him. He missed like a 25-yard field goal last year when they literally picked him out of the audience to be the kicker for 2 weeks. You remember that?
I think the Lions have two pretty good kickers.
They do. The Jacksonville Jaguars cut him. They have no kickers on their roster right now as they get down to 80 players. And next week, they will have to make a deal. And I think the Lions have two kickers, as you were saying.
Yeah, they got two. I mean, I think both of them will play in the NFL this year. Obviously, the one that makes it will be with the Lions, and I think the other one will get a look.
I do too.
They've been solid in the preseason.
I've been more impressed with Riley Patterson than I have with, and I'm missing his name right now here.
Seibert.
Austin Seibert.
Austin
Seibert last week, the field goals and the extra points he hit, they weren't very good. He hit the post on one of them. They were fading right. I know you could change that. He's the longer of the two kickers. Riley Patterson don't miss inside 45 yards. Inside 50, he doesn't miss. The reason they bring Seibert in is because he's supposed to be the long distance guy, and he missed from, I think, 59 last week.
59.
59. He did hit the post on 59, but that's what you want in a kicker nowadays, right?
Yeah.
You want a guy that can go 60 yards.
Cut half the field off.
Yeah.
They had that guy. His name was Matt Prater.
Oh, yeah, they had Matt Prater.
Remember him?
I do.
Oh, my
The
goodness.
Cardinals have him now. So Ryan Santoso looking for work again. Something tells me someone else will pick him up.
But very, very intriguing there. Some storylines in the NFL. Can't wait. 2 weeks away from NFL opening week.
Wow.
Unbelievable. This is week 0 in college football, too. I mean, Big Ten action, Nebraska, Northwestern.
Where are they playing?
I think in Ireland.
Ireland, I think
like
it is.
Yeah.
What a battle.
By the way, just some more news out of the NFL. Washington Commanders defensive end Chase Young will start on PUP. He is out for the first 4 games. That is important because
they played us.
The Lions
play
the Commanders.
Yeah, they play Washington
in week 2, I believe, right?
Yep.
Week 2. So again, 2-0, baby. 2-0.
Bring it on.
Come on.
And just to go back to what we were talking about, Carolina is -1.5.
Look at that.
Over the Browns.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Interesting stuff.
Take the
there.
Panthers.
I love you, man. It is time that we play Maz's videos of the day. We'll do that next. But first, we have a message from Cintron. Yep.
Yes, the summer of Cintron
we got
is
Sam
here,
busy over
and now
here.
Cintron is available at Kroger. Make sure you pick some up while you're shopping. Right now, get 2 Cintrons for $4. Cintron is the new energy drink for the active lifestyle. Drink it, live it with Cintron.
When you need apparel, there's only one place to go. Big Frog in Novi. With no setup fees, no artwork fees, no minimum, and a 24-hour turnaround, you can have your whole team outfitted in no time. Embroidery, direct-to-garment, vinyl, and screen printing, Big Frog has it all in all the styles you want. So whether it's a sports team, fundraiser, school event, or corporate needs, Big Frog is your one-stop destination. Visit bigfrog.com/Novi or call 844-4-BIG-FROG.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. They were talking to one another.
Woodward Sports.
Grab your favorite jersey and join us down at Monroe Street Midway on August 25th for a Jersey Thursday roller skating party. Our very own Woodward heavyweights will be broadcasting live from the Rollout Detroit roller rink with a jersey theme party starting immediately after with a DJ and a jersey giveaway. So mark your calendars and join the Woodward crew for a Jersey Thursday, August 25th at Monroe Street Midway.
Maz, you doing fantasy football this year?
Yeah.
You do fantasy football?
I did a draft over the weekend.
How does anybody do a draft before the last preseason game of the year? How do you do it?
You just do it. It's just for fun.
Really?
Yeah, it's for fun. I can't wait to do
is it
ours.
a big money league?
It's about, what do we pay, 150 a head?
That's not bad.
No.
Now, what's the strategy that you guys do this year?
I've been doing, it's a PPR league, point per reception.
That's the only league you can play.
I went receiver heavy. I'm very weak in running back. I think my quarterbacks, I went with Kyler Murray this year. I'm not a huge fan of his. At the time, I'm like, I think maybe Kyler Murray might have a good year. But I got receiver riches, and I think I got a great tight end in.
Well, who do you got?
I got the Atlanta tight end.
Kyle Pitts.
Yeah,
He's
Kyle
like a
Pitts.
receiver.
I believe that he's going to have a huge year this year.
I saw it, I just glanced up. I don't play fantasy football. I haven't for a number of years.
We got to get you going again.
Yeah, I haven't played for a number of years, but I saw Travis Kelce was tight end 1.
Yeah.
Kyle Pitts tight end 3. Who's tight end 2?
I don't know. You got Kittle. You got
Maybe Kittle.
Well, Kittle could be up there. There's a couple other good ones out there, too. Mark Andrews is up there. Mark Andrews is a stud for Baltimore. Absolute stud. But I got Justin Jefferson and who's my other? And Stephon Diggs as my 1-2 receivers. And I took Amon-Ra St. Brown a little bit later in the draft.
It's big league stuff there,
I think it's big league stuff. You know who's going to be good? Sammy Watkins is going to be a surprise this year. Number one guy in Green Bay this year.
He's going to be terrible.
We'll see.
7-win football team,
there
Green Bay. It is the time of the day we like to play Maz's videos of the day.
Yeah.
And now it's time for Maz's videos of the day, only on the Woodward Sports Network.
This first video is the video that everyone has probably seen by now. It's the viral video of the year, maybe.
Horrible.
It's a Yankee fan last night wearing an Argyle Yankee cap, turning his hot dog into a beer straw.
It's ridiculous.
Look at this guy. He is literally poking a hole in his hot dog with the straw.
Now let me ask you this.
Now he's going to the beer, and he's going to drink the beer through the hot dog.
Is this just for likes? Like he
no,
knows
it don't
he's
look like
being,
any. It don't look like he's
this
even
is a
looking
setup.
around.
This is a setup.
I don't
isn't
think
it?
so.
It's got to be a setup.
He looks like just a normal, average, ordinary dude.
That's the problem.
Dude,
I don't know. It was the Yankees-Mets last night, by the way. Great game.
Subway
Great series always. Subway series. Loved it on MLB Network. So would you ever do that?
Never
Brian?
in a million years.
What
Unless
piece
there was
of food-
a significant sum of cash.
Have you used a piece of food as a straw before?
No.
Do you dip anything in your drinks? Like, do you take your pretzel and dip it
No.
in?
No
You don't.
cook. I don't dip my cookies in
You
milk.
don't dip cookies in milk?
No.
Sam, do you do any food dipping?
I do not. This guy should be arrested.
I hate people. I mean, no, I don't do any of that stuff. By the way, the Yankees, man, what in the world? They won last night.
Yeah, they won 2 in a row. First time all month.
I mean, they got some
They
problems
got
over
issues.
there.
They definitely got issues. They got bad bullpen right now. Nobody is healthy. And since Joey Gallo's trade, they have gone down.
Joey Gallo?
They've gone down the tubes. And Joey Gallo's kicking ass, by the way, for the Dodgers. Threw a guy out on the, not even on the hop from the outfield.
How did the
other
Dodgers
day.
get shut out? They
That's
lost
it.
last
I know.
night 4-0.
That's because Jimmy Valou had him last night. Our boy Jimmy V had him in his parlay and cost him his parlay. Let's move on to soccer.
It's the worst.
I know.
I'm
This
sorry
is
for you, Jimmy.
Fish's favorite sport. This poor young lady is in one of the end zones trying to pump up the fans where an errant soccer ball did her dirty. Look at it hook in.
Oh, man.
Look at this. She's trying to fire up the crowd. That's her job. Boom.
Oh.
She looks like a stadium worker.
Oh, man.
Look at this. That's a KO.
Freaking great.
That's a TKO.
That is wonderful. That is wonderful.
That's a concussion, no doubt about it.
Oh, my gosh.
No question about it. Let's move on. My dog video of the day, of course. How do you not like seeing a bunch of dogs going down a slide?
Well, I mean, oh, my gosh.
Look, one after the next. They look like they're having a good time, too. Their tails are wagging.
Oh, this guy's coming in hot.
Look at this guy.
That's better than the Belle Isle slide.
Oh, I could see you on that Belle Isle. Oh my God!
I want to go on that. I want to go on that thing. We should go on that thing.
Not me. I would never get on that.
Why?
I'd scare the hell out of me.
I'd go with you right now if you want.
I would not go.
Come on.
I'm afraid to go on a regular playground slide these days.
Mash, you and me going down the Belle Isle slide.
If we must.
I'll go with you right now. But we'd have to have somebody record it.
I don't want to go. I'm sorry.
Really?
I know.
Okay.
You get your legs shaved.
Huh?
You get your legs shaved. You're going to get burnt legs.
Come on.
Burnt legs.
Burnt legs?
Yeah.
That's why you got the sack there.
Oh, they using a sack?
Yeah, they use a sack.
Okay. No, I'm not going on that, bro.
What do you know about the sack?
I know plenty. I get sacked plenty of times. All right, let's move on to the next one.
Okay.
How'd you like to be this poor dad? You want kids? You sure you want kids? Check this out.
Oh, my God.
You got to see that again.
Oh, look.
I don't know what the kid had. What is that? Is it flour?
I don't know.
The poor guy
It's the
just got
worst.
done dusted. Look at this.
Oh, my God. Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. I would die. That reminds me, so yesterday, my wife did a load of laundry.
Yeah.
And she puts, the OxyClean into all the powder. She forgot to turn it on. So when I get there, I was trying to be a good husband.
Oh, you added more?
No, I was like, I'll transfer the clothes from the wash to the dryer, and I rip them out real quick. It's a front loader.
Yeah, but everything comes out on you.
Everything all over the place.
You're like Dan Campbell.
And I'm like,
Putting out
it's
those clothes.
exactly what it was like. And I was so mad. I was like, you have got to be kidding
I believe
me.
that.
You've got to be kidding me.
I'm sorry, buddy.
Thank you.
You
I
tried,
appreciate
though.
it. I tried to help.
I got one more for
Didn't
you.
work.
Anytime any of us guys here in this nice, comfy studio, or the guys at YouTube, I'm not sure what you do for a living, but anytime you want to bitch about your job, this is what a real man does for work. I mean, I would have no chance at doing that job.
Oh, my God. Certainly not hungover.
Look at that.
How much money do you think those guys make a year?
They don't make enough. They don't make enough.
How much money do you think they make?
How much do you think construction guys work? How much do you think construction guys make? Let's say the guys on I-75 by 14 Mile Road.
Including overtime?
Doing all the new roads over there.
Including overtime?
Yeah, how much do they
weekends
make?
and nights?
Yeah.
90 to 120?
It's not enough.
Yeah.
Every
Maybe.
time I pass that, and we're in the one lane
I don't
trying
know,
to pass
I'm
that,
guessing.
I look at these guys and I'm like, you couldn't pay me $500,000 a year to do that job. $500,000, I wouldn't do that job. Not for a 1 day's work would I do that job. That is a tough ass.
Well, we would
labor.
probably end up dead because
Yeah.
we wouldn't know how to use the machinery
No,
to begin with.
I don't think my hands have ever been dirty. I mean, I take my hat off
Do
to
you
those
cut your
guys.
lawn?
No. Remember those commercials? Those Real Men, the commercials, the beer commercials.
Real men, genius.
I love those commercials. Bring those commercials back, man, because that is what a real man and woman does for a living.
Tom,
Hats off.
I love doing the show with you, man. Thanks so much. Braylon will be back tomorrow. Fletch, Flannel, you guys rock. First and third baseman over here, my guys. Adam, thanks for sitting in as well, buddy. And thanks, everybody. Really good show today. Go back, check it out. Hit that like button. Get me to 125 likes in the next 30 seconds. How about that? Give me to 125 in the next 30 seconds. Hit the like button. Of course, subscribe to Woodward Sports Network. We will see you tomorrow.